Welcome to First and Goal, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. Get ready for the latest and hottest topics in the SML. Let's get started. Here's your host, Mad Bomber.
All right, welcome to this episode of First and Goal. We've got 16-time GOAT. It's lit, it's fire, prime time, 000. We've got Pauly, the truth, best show on SML network. And then we've got QB Stud, who's a legend in his own mind, probably not going to win. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, thanks
Good, man.
All right.
Good, thanks for having us, man.
So we're going to jump right into it. First topic, who had the best offseason? So we just started season 35. Week 1 should finish up tonight when Pauly beats October, hopefully. And
I don't know about that.
so of all the teams out there, who had the best offseason? We'll start with you, QB.
Okay, Bomber, none other than the Jacksonville Jaguars had the best offseason in the SML. First and foremost, they got what I think is going to be the best defensive player of the entire cycle in the free safety street. I think he's already superstar dev. He's got 95 speed and acceleration, 89 change of direction, and he's 21 years old. He's going to be he won't have an ounce of regression for the entire cycle. And he's already locked up for that first 4 years. He'll have another 4-year contract. Dude's insane. Quarterback of the future in Josh Allen. He's still on his rookie deal, I believe, and he's overall isn't that high, so he'll be able to sign him for pretty cheap, and he's got a cannon for an arm. Also continued to get just multiple pieces throughout. Absolutely, Jacksonville Jaguars dominated the offseason.
Well, that's a good start for QB. He's really trying to get this first win. What about you, Pauly? Who do you think is the best offseason team so far?
It's funny. QB and DMs asked me the same question, and I told them the Jags. But I believe the Jags. The Jags got a great team. They got Drake, they got Brown, Josh Allen, Joe Hayden. They had the most cap room to spare. If I was going to say somebody in second place, somebody with a lot of cap room, I would go the Colts because they stole Ingram, got Joyner, they got Guy. They also had a great offseason. But, hands down, I would say the Jags because they had a lot of money to spend and they knew the right places where they needed it, and they got those guys.
For sure. So it's pretty competitive tonight. Everybody wants to win. How about you, Prime? What do you got?
Yeah, I also had Jacksonville, but obviously you could point out the obvious reasons like drafting a superstar. And look at Pauly going right out the bat. His nose is as brown as a football. Anyway, moving on, though, I think that you got a good offseason, Bomber, because the contracts you gave out were not long-term deals. You preserved your cap for throughout the cycle. And I think, obviously, drafting superstars is good, but your cap space is secured as well, especially if Josh Allen proves to be the quarterback that you need him to be.
All right, so everybody picked the Jaguars, so everybody's going to get lots of points this round. Let's
You want me to throw some extra stuff just so the people at home have more information, or are we
absolutely.
good?
If you have more to say, go ahead.
Yeah,
There we go.
I think the Colts had a great offseason. Anytime you can get the quarterback of the future, a wide receiver of the future, you already have the running back of the future. You've got a great offensive line. Their offense is set for the entire cycle at this point, especially since at wide receiver, they also have a young burner and a big-bodied receiver. And then the defense is young, is just going to keep getting better. And then some team in Los Angeles had a pretty good offseason. If you listen to Social Chat, made
the
two
Rams?
big acquisitions. Yeah. I think they're a little overrated, but obviously I like them as pieces. So there's 3 teams, just, spread it out a little bit.
All right. Yep, you spread it out a little bit by naming everybody on this show except Pauly. All right. So we're going to move on to topic 2. Topic 2, surprise team, good or bad. So we finished again season 34. We're moving into season 35. Who's going to surprise you that has a different outcome than last season? Whether it's somebody coming from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom. We'll start with you, Prime.
Yeah, I'm going to go with maybe this will be from the middle, just come crashing down hard. And that's going to be the Titans and Coop. Maybe it's because he didn't have a 5th-round draft pick this year. I don't know for sure. But either way, I just don't see Coop. He was pretty mediocre last year with Derrick Henry. People are probably going to key in on that. And I think between myself, you, and October, who isn't a bad player, I just don't see Coop winning more than 4 games this year.
All right, so if you're listening, trade for Coop's pick. How about you, Pauly? Who do you got?
Well, I'm going to go with the guy who wasn't here last season, so we don't really know what he can do, but I heard some rumors about him. And the only thing that's going to keep this guy from being great in the NFC is if his mom grounds him for a dumb reason and takes his PlayStation away. So that's little Dicky out of Dookie or Dicky, whatever it is, out of the NFC. He's great at his job in the drive-through. He gave me some free stuff. Never again, I will ask him for anything more. But I will take little Dookie because if you play the game 24 hours a day, you have to be good at it, right? So I'm going to go with little Dookie, Dicky, whatever his name is.
All right. We'll see if he makes it to the end. But how about you, QB? What do you think?
I'm going to take Noel. That's not Noel. That's Noel in the Buffalo Bills. I don't think they're going to win the division that they're in, but they're definitely going to be vying for a wild card spot. They had a couple of big offseason acquisitions as well, along with being a younger team able to develop that. Very big disappointment last season. I think he'll more regress to the mean this season.
I don't know, but I think that's actually how Pauly plays the guitar.
Oh, yeah. My strings are broken.
That's not all. All right, we're going to move on to topic 3. Topic 3 is going to be who picked wrong. All right, so after we've seen the first season, who's out there looking at their team right now and where they picked in the team selection draft thinking, I screwed up. I should have picked somebody else. We'll start with you, Pauly.
Without a doubt, easiest choice right here. Okay, this guy made a lot of noise in the draft, but he's making very little noise now other than just sitting home watching the playoffs from his couch. And that's the Raiders, man. Raiders, right? Empire. He made big booms at the draft, taking, a team. But did you see the division he's in? We have 2 guys that play Madden full-time. Then we have ZZ the Great who does other things full-time pretty well. So, what are you going to do? Why would you go in that division? You're just going to take an ass beating after ass beating. Even to me, of all people, right? He took the Raiders because of speed, but the guys in his division know how to stop it. He should have took a different team from the start, and we would have had maybe one more coach in the league. Stop at that. Next guy.
All right, QB. What do you think?
So I think that you could go with Tinny or ZZ as the kind of obvious choices. I'm going to go with Chris and Kells in the Philadelphia Eagles, though. He had a hot start to last season, but he really fell short in the second half, and I think that's going to be more indicative of what he has coming forward for him for the rest of the cycle. And that's not because I think he's a poor player. I think it's just not a great team with a really bad cap situation. And to kind of rub dirt into the wound, or salt into the wound, I guess, is he's a Cowboys fan. And how he can stomach having the Eagles, I can't possibly imagine. But I know that's going to be eating at him for the rest of the cycle.
As somebody that had the Steelers last cycle, it's a little difficult. All right, Prime, what do you think? Somebody who picked wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with somebody who actually QB said that was going to maybe possibly blow up this year, and that's Noel Overlord. And here's why. Noel had a top 10 pick, and or at least a top 12 pick, and he took the Bills. And when you're picking in that area of top 12, you really have some elite teams to choose from. He took the Bills, and then he trades the quarterback away within one season, just gives up on his quarterback. He wins like 4 or 5 games after being a Super Bowl contender last cycle. We always call him Humpty Dumpty. We call him all sorts of things. And Pauly is just giving his best to win. We might as well give him the win right now because Pauly is taking it to the next level on the show. But I'm just going to say Noel Overlord. He hasn't impressed me yet this cycle, and I don't know if he will.
All right. So the last topic is going to be football versus video game knowledge. We've heard Pauly say this multiple times in chat. We'll start with you, Prime. What do you think? What do you think? That he means by that, and do you think it matters? Is there a difference?
Should I even go on this one? Because this is not going to be a battle between me and the other guys. This is a 1v1 boxing fest. But I'll give my opinion. Why not? So I think that to be good in real life, you have to know football. But to be good on the video game, you don't necessarily have to know football. Now, that said, let's look at Meats. Meats is very good at the video game. But his situational calling, and we've seen it in Super Bowls, we've seen it in play calling time and time again, he doesn't seem to know football or football situationally, and that's what prevents him. I guess what I'm saying is he can be good at the video game without knowing football. Mm-hmm. So that's all I got to say.
All right, QB, we'll go to you.
Yeah, so I want to say first off, absolutely there is a difference between knowing the video game and knowing football. And you can be okay at the game without knowing anything about football. The problem is the Sim Madden League has rules in place to prevent that from happening as much as possible. If you just see someone out there slewing cheese around everywhere, then yeah, they're just utilizing the video game. But if someone plays in a sim fashion, and they still win, then that tells you that it's not video game, it's football, especially if they can explain the thought process throughout. It is definitely something that can happen. I think it's probably overblown a little bit more than it should be in our league. Outside of the league, it's a huge problem. In our league, though, I think we do a pretty good job of it.
All right, Pauly, what do you think?
What's the question? What's the question again?
The football versus video game knowledge. Your
All right, man.
big thing.
I'm not calling anybody out here, man, but I'm just going to say the truth, and that's all it takes, right? So the guy to my left, or QB stud, the pretty guy here, the pretty guy that we can't even see the writing because he's using the pen. I don't know what that says, but whatever. So anyways, he knows football to a certain extent, okay? Because his father was a coach, and he got him on the team holding the clipboard for a couple of years. I get it, okay? I've seen kids like that. I get it. He knows it. He never was able to execute it, but he knows it. I get it. I know a lot of kids like that, a lot of kids like that. But he last cycle would throw it up. He was the jump ball king because he knew what worked. He knew if the guy off the line of scrimmage looked left, it would be an automatic catch. Like, he knows the animations very well, and more than I. I just, play the game the way I see. I don't even know him, but there's nothing against him. I don't call him out for what he's doing because he studies the game. Last week, he said he's on CFM for all day. Like, who stays on CFM all day? Like, I don't, but I give him credit for putting in the work. And that's why he's as great as he is, because he puts in a lot more work than most, other than Little Dicky, probably. Other than that, look at last season, okay? 2019 in the NFL, the top fullback in the league, okay, as far as stats was Zach Line out of New Orleans. He had 7 carries, okay, for 20 yards, 0 TDs. That's NFL 2019. QB stud, 71 overall. Bronson has 22 carries for 213 yards, 4 TDs, but a whopping 9.7 yards a carry. Are you freaking kidding me? He knows the game. Cut the shit. The truth is the truth. I'm sorry. Nothing against him. Doesn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying he knows the game more than most. Just like, he prepares. He knows CFM. He knows upgrades and downgrades. He knows all that crap. Well, that's all I'm saying. He knows the game more than most, more than me and Prime. Me and Prime just play to happy-go-lucky kind of guys, you know what I'm saying? But he knows the game. I'll rest at that.
QB, I'm sure you have something to say.
Yeah. So in order to begin with, the reason why I threw jump balls is because I had jump ball, big body wide receivers. So if I have a guy that's one-on-one in real life, then I would give them a shot to make that catch one-on-one. They were both big-bodied. They were both tall. They both had great catching. So, yeah, I'm going to give my dude a shot one-on-one. Talking about the fullback thing, what's funny is I didn't even plan on picking up a fullback that first season until Prime randomly said in the party chat that we had to have a fullback on the roster. And Meats and I were like, what do you mean? No, you don't. And Prime was like, yeah, that's been a rule for a long time. And so Meats and I were like, crap. And we both fought for this same fullback just because he was the best fullback in free agency before season 1. And I ended up getting him. So I'm like, okay, why not? But yeah, as far as me personally, you can literally just watch my stream and I explain in a football context why I make 99% of decisions. So if Pauly wants to be mad and continue being defraud, by the way, the only reason he called out Future is because Future was the one that coined defraud. So, it is what it is.
I think it worked out pretty good for me, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So that's going to do it for this show. And it looks like we actually have something the first time ever here on First and Goal. We have QB Stud is the winner.
Wow.
All right, QB, these 30 seconds are yours.
That's an outrage. Pauly dominated.
Can we get some hair
I was
fluffs,
completely
please?
wrong.
Can we get some hair?
The first tie is that Prime and Pauly each have 19 points. QB, you still lost.
Good.
Co-champs, baby.
All right,
Pauly,
so you guys each get 30 seconds apiece. And we'll start with you, Pauly.
Hey, man. Bomber, I just want to say thank you for letting 2 really great football minds on the show, and a hair model to the left of me. He looks really great tonight. The highlights look great. Everything looks great about you, QB stud. You know, I love you, man. Nothing personal. I just think you're a great personality, man. You know, hey, I never forget that you helped me get in this league. So I don't forget that.
I'm sure he doesn't forget it either.
Serious, man. All right, I know he doesn't. But hey, he looks great, man. Look at him. Look at him. Under Armour t-shirt, his deltoids. You know, I just wish he was sleeveless. But hey, other than that, man, I love you guys. Great show. Thanks for having me on. And now to the GOAT.
Man, it's great to be a co-champion with Pauly, just a genius football mind. Like he said, we share the same motivations, the same work ethic, and we just play for fun and we win still. You know, I couldn't be more honored to share the stage with somebody like Coach Pauly, a man of honor and virtue.
All right, great words from Pauly and Prime. QB, do you have anything to say? We'll give you 30 seconds too. I'm just kidding. That's for winners.
That's all he needs is 30 seconds.
Got it.
Thanks for listening to First and Goal. Be sure to check out Mad Bomber TV on Twitch and YouTube for the latest from the SML. And we'll see you next time on First and Goal.